There is a village in the heart of Molise, a region of southern Italy, that most Americans couldn't find on a map, where, in March of 1888, something happened that no one expected. Two peasant women were searching for some lost sheep in the slopes of a rocky mountain. It was a Thursday, the day before Palm Sunday, and there, in a crevice in stone called Chiesa Trasanti, the holy ground between the saints, they saw something that would forever change that small village, and the lives of tens of thousands of people who would come after them. My name is Danny Cicchino. I was born in Castelpetroso, and this is my story, and the story of the shrine of Our Lady of Sorrows. My father always used to say, "We are made of two places." He meant New Jersey, where we grew up, and Castelpetroso, where we were born. For him, there was no contradiction. In fact, they were the same thing, the same people, the same blood, the same way of sitting around the table on a Sunday, just with an ocean in between. I came to America as a child. I learned English, and then I spent decades teaching Italian, English, and Spanish. I lived between two languages, two cultures, two identities. And all my life, I kept Castelpetroso in my heart, the way you keep a photograph in your wallet, always with you, even when you're not looking at it. Every year, as president of the Society of Castelpetroso Descendants, I organize a fundraiser for the shrine. It's a dinner, music, people dancing, the dinner dance, as we call it. And every November, when Father Fabio Di Tommaso, the rector of the shrine, crosses the ocean to be with us, I am reminded of just how alive this bond truly is. It isn't nostalgia, it's something more concrete than that. It is faithfulness. But I will tell you the truth. For a long time, I only knew the story of the shrine in broad strokes. I knew about the apparitions, the miraculous water, the construction of the church. I knew it was a special place. And then, at a certain point, I started reading the historical documents, the letters, the testimonies, and what I found left me speechless. This is not just for the story of a shrine. It is the story of two peasant women that nobody wanted to believe. Of the parish priest of Castelpetroso, Don Achille Ferrara, who at first believed none of it, and then, on May 18, 1888, climbed the rock himself and saw the Madonna. Of the Bishop of Boiano, sent by the Pope as apostolic delegate, who on September 26, 1888, climbed the same mountain, accompanied by the very same priest, and saw Our Lady of Sorrows 3 times. It is the story of a Catholic publisher from Bologna who read about the apparitions in the newspaper, wrote a letter to a country priest, received water from the miraculous spring, and when his son, Augusto, fell gravely ill with scarlet fever, bathed him with the water he already had at home in Bologna, and Augusto recovered. It is the story of Polish pilgrims who traveled all the way from Krakow in 1891, with all the difficulty that such a journey entailed in those days, because they wanted to see for themselves. And then there is Leo XIII, the Pope who sent his own emissary, a young Monsignor by the name of Giacomo della Chiesa, who 20 years later would become Pope Benedict XV, to verify what was happening in this remote village in Molise, and who sent his apostolic blessing when he understood that work on the church had begun. All of this in a village of 800 souls on a mountain in 1888. You may be wondering why a podcast in English about an Italian shrine that most Americans have never heard of? The answer is simple. Because the people who should know it best, the Italian disapproval of America, in Canada, in Australia, across the world, often don't know it well enough. And because the story deserves to be told to those who don't speak Italian, who have never been to Molise, who may not even be Catholic, but who love true stories, human stories, stories of faith and courage. Castelpetroso is known as the Little Lourdes of Italy. That is not a title invented by a tourist brochure. It is a nickname that arose naturally already by the end of the 19th century, because those who came here found something similar to what Bernadette Soubirous had found in her French grotto 30 years earlier: a presence, a silence unlike any other silence, and very often a healing. Today, around 100,000 pilgrims a year make their way to the shrine. In 2013, Pope Francis elevated it to the dignity of a minor basilica. The building, designed by the Bolognese engineer Francesco Gualandi in the neo-Gothic style, is one of the most beautiful in Molise, with its dome visible from miles away and its 7 chapels dedicated to the 7 sorrows of Mary. But it all began with 2 women whose names deserve to be remembered: Fabiana Cecchino and Serafina Valentino. 2 peasant women, no education, no reason whatsoever to invent a story like this. In this podcast, I will take you with me on the journey. Episode by episode, we will follow the story of Castelpetroso from the very beginning. We will talk about what happened on March 22nd, 1888, about how the news spread across Italy, and then to Poland, and then to the world, about how the shrine was built stone by stone, thanks to offerings that came from every corner of the earth, about what this place means to those of us who, like me, carry Castelpetroso in our blood while living on the other side of the ocean. We will also hear from living voices, from those who have experienced extraordinary things in this place, from those who guard its historical memory, from those who, like me, have made this bond a lifelong commitment. Because true stories never end. They live on the people who carry them forward. I am Danny Cicchino, and this is the Little Lourdes of Italy, Shrine of Our Lady of Sorrows. Thank you for being here with me. I'll see you in the next episode.